don't look to see yourselves in others, or excuse me, it was don't look to see yourselves in one another. Instead, look to see someone God uniquely created to be yourselves or themselves. I messed up, but that's the whole point. You know what I'm saying? It's what Joseph Canfield said towards the end that I believe with in all my heart in the beginning. I'm James Lott Jr. I'm sorry that it's taking me till Thursday to do this. This is why we don't have the show on Monday at normal, because things are getting in the way at the moment. Just got stuff going on. I have family stuff going on and work and all kind of goodies, and celebrating some of my friends who had some great achievements this week also. But I'm here. I would not let you guys not have one of these. You guys have been enjoying them. You have been tuning in. The numbers have been just most wonderful. You've been listening to the show. Thank you for listening to us. We're on every streaming service. And those watching, thank you so much. Thank you to the Facebook groups, the Hearties Facebook groups. Thank you so much. Twitter, everyone. Shout out to my girl, Serafini, who I'm going to see for my birthday in 2 weeks. Yes, my birthday is in 2 weeks. Well, 12 days right now, I think it is. It's like that. I will be 53 years old. I can't believe it myself. Today is my grandson's birthday. My grandson, Zayden. Happy birthday to him, my fellow Lieutenant Torian. Him and his girlfriend are doing great. I'm very proud of him. He's doing a great job navigating his way through adulthood. Young adulthood, I should say. This show, we're in episode 8. So I was like, okay, we're getting there. It's a continuation of Hope Valley Days. I have my notes. I took notes, but I just kind of glance at them. It's more for me just kind of to look at them. I just actually just finished watching the show. This episode, but the last couple episodes I was telling you, I felt like I was feeling the town being so big. This episode, it felt very insular. It felt like very small towny. In a good way, not a bad way at all. It just felt like the opposite. Though it felt like it's so expansive, the last episodes of this season. But this one felt very much like we had a couple of stories, not that many, it's a couple of stories. There's some folks who weren't on. So it's like a smaller cast this time. And there were just a couple of things we focused on this episode, which I didn't mind. I like the contrast. I had no problem with that. The thing about Hope Valley Days are the 4 principles of spirit, hope, my favorite, where you see it's back there in that pillow right there, hope, which is up there too. Hope. I have hope everywhere. What else? I don't have hope anywhere else. I'll say, Bob, I was telling you that. I normally have hope everywhere, but I do have no places. Spirit, hope, fun, and love. Those are 4 things I want in my life, and hope to get more of. And now it's sandwiched, beginning and the ends. We have Elizabeth again doing the voiceover talking, which I like that. I do. I've noticed that the episodes this season aren't heavily focused on Elizabeth. It does not feel Elizabeth heavy this season. Not at all. I feel like she's there and she has storylines here and there, but she's not like full on. She had a couple episodes that were obviously surrounded by her, but it just feels like, oh, okay, we've really seen the rest of the town shine. Mei Su, I'll get to you, they have given her such a big storyline for someone so new. You're like, wow. I mean, I love Amanda Wong. It's my girl, and I love that. I love seeing this. But I've noticed, like, oh, she's coming on like gangbusters, and this episode was her episode. Her ex-husband, faux husband, Jeffrey Lewis, comes to town. And he's just a little. There's words I want to use, but it's a family show, so I will not use them. But you know what they are. You can make up your own. He's shady. Let's say that. We'll say that's a safe word to say. He's shady. Let me drink my. He's shady. So Nathan finally gets answers out of her. Basically, she apprenticed. I had to read this part because I had to write down. She apprenticed for Jeffrey. He was nice at one point, apparently. She went on with him after college or whatever. So Jeffrey wanted more at some point. She wasn't into it. he went off and just told people that they just eloped and got married and forged his certificate. That's crazy talk. She figured all this out, was not happy. She intercepted a letter for him, of course, to come to Hope Valley. She did his pretense, the whole thing. It was very interesting. I was like, wow, that's a story I haven't seen before. That was very interesting. But I like that, you know, he was a little snit. Nathan did his job. He had her arrested, of course, but he believed her. They had some great scenes this episode showing that they're getting closer and closer. And I think, you know, Miss Allie, of course, is like, bring her in the pictures. I think they're the next couple. Literally, they're the next couple. But they had some really close moments. And in the end, Nathan found out that Jeffrey had another wife in Evanston. And it was all wrong. So he was already married to somebody else. So that storyline, at first was like, we gotta go to Chicago and all that, but that's all gets taken care of. That storyline's done. Glad that makes you somebody good. Remember about that. Meanwhile, Bill, who was trying to go see her lawyer and stuff, he's all banged up. I mean, he was coughing up blood and his bruises, you know, being a tough guy. He even celebrates that the Canfields are now co-owners of the cafe. They make some changes. That was nice. The scenes with him and Molly, they haven't really pursued that much of Bill and Molly. We had a few scenes together. That's a criticism for me. I feel like, why aren't we seeing them working towards, they're friends, clearly. There's something more. Why are we working towards that? It's funny because Jack Wagner is such, on soaps, the leading man. Every soap he's been on, he's been the leading man. This show, I would say, this character, and good for him, kudos to him as an actor, Bill Avery's like nothing else he's played before. He's not Frisco Jones, General Hospital. He's not Peter from Melrose Place. He's not Nick Maroney from Bold and the Beautiful. Like, he's completely playing a whole different character, which I love Bill. Bill's my favorite character, always has been. But that's my criticism. Why can't Molly and Bill have some romance, on-screen romance, or at least something working towards each other? They keep rooming rooms together. It's kind of like, it's cutesy or whatever. You can tell she cares about him, and he does stuff because of her. But I wish there's more. I wish there was more. I think they both actors can totally do comedy, you know, drama. It could totally work. That's just my complaint for this season. So far, we've not seen them come together. But Faith gives her some cough syrup, which made him loopy. He mentioned his ex-wife coming to town, which I thought that was good history in there. That was kind of fun. And it was cute at the end that he was when he brought the big Christmas tree to town. And at least an April Fool's kind of funny. The inverted April Fools. That was they're all like talking like, well, maybe it's you. They literally, they named, like when they were standing there, they literally named everybody and group. You think, well, that could be them. No, it could be them. No, like now it's kind of like, yeah, who did it? I forgot about Bill. Actually, was not there. That's cute. He's the old curmudgeon. He's crotchety. He's grumpy. He's anti-hero. I mean, he's all that. And Jack Wagner plays it so well. But I just watched Jack come back to Bold and the Beautiful for Brooks' 35th anniversary, and I was reminded how much of a leading romantic man he is. And I just thought, I want to see more of that. Let's see. A little small storyline for Elizabeth. Lucas befriends this group, these two women, Mary is one of them, who they live outside of town. They have some kids. Trying to get books. It was going to help them. So that was something. But I feel that's going to come back a little later for something else. Lucas teaching the kids grammar sentence using a baseball. Lots of fun. We had a little more Hanukkah, which I liked. It ended with Thanksgiving dinner. Lee and Hickam this whole season have been having this moment that everybody sees. And I love Lee and Rosemary coming to terms of how they run their style of writing the Valley Voice, his editorials. Are they friends? Are they not friends? At the very end, Hickam says, I saw your article and I'm okay with it. What does that mean? I don't know. But I like that. I kind of like that. That's something that's kind of on the edge. And on the reverse side, Nathan and Lucas are becoming really good friends. They're still using this humor thing with Elizabeth. A little strange, but like, okay, they're just trying to really make a point that they're all just friends. And that's fine. I really do wonder if anybody, because I've not gone online to look. I don't look for trouble, but I'm wondering if the folks who were Nathan fans, fans of Elizabeth and Nathan, I wonder how they're feeling now while they're watching. If you are a Nathan Elizabeth fan, how are you feeling this season about this? Let me know in the comments. How are you feeling this season about this? Again, I feel like it's a good season. I think it's been a great season so far, and I think, and they're really showing Lucas and Elizabeth kiss a lot this season. I was like, they didn't do that. They didn't always do that earlier in the seasons. They show a lot of affection between those two, and the Jack scenes and everything. I'm like, wow, very interesting. We still didn't get. Elizabeth says she's talked to Abigail, but no mention but the Jack, unless during the Christmas episode it's brought up. I don't know. I just feel like, why has that been brought? They bring up Abigail all the time, but why have they brought that up that she had this dream or whatever? Yeah, I don't know. But that was on When Hope Calls, I know, but I was hoping they would mention that. I like that Anna is going to stay on at the cafe and live upstairs. Kind of a passing of the torch from Elizabeth to her, of a young woman being single back then, forging her own way. I love that. Rosemary got a typewriter for Lee, and he was still writing with hand. I think that's funny that things are changing that way. I know how to type on a typewriter. I used to type up to 80 words per minute. There are some jobs you want 120. I didn't get that fast, but I did 80 words a minute, and I always got jobs because of my accuracy. My grandmother used to always say, may she rest in peace, my grandma Mitzi will say, if you knew how to type, you'll always have a job. And recently, it was just this week, it was Administrative Assistance Day. Before it was called Secretary's Day. But they upgraded the words. And I had a lot of front desk jobs and data entry jobs. There was a time when I was doing a lot of data entry, making money off it. I learned how to type. I learned 10 key. I learned dictation. I learned shorthand. I learned all that stuff that we don't even use today, but I have used in certain situations. Some of that stuff does come in handy in the weirdest of ways. You never know. But I used to type. I learned how to type in high school, and I was typing away. And typing on a typewriter, doing typing on a computer keyboard, very different. And then I learned how to do it. We had electric typewriters, which I have. I should have had it over here. Should have brought it out. I have electric typewriters that I could have showed you one from the late 80s, early 90s. But typing was big for me too. So I saw that. I love that typewriter they had that in there. I was like, ooh, a typewriter. I love it. Those small things. Hickam asked Faith to Sunday service. I mean, I'm saying, like, there's something going on with those two, which I never expected at all. I think that's about it. My quick thoughts. Another great episode. I have nothing bad to say. Like I said again, I just wish that Bill and Molly would have some kind of romance. But I am curious to you guys. I'm watching the show. I said I was a Hardy for life. I'm going to watch every season, no matter what, whether I do it after show or not. I'm going to watch it every season. I'm already hooked in. Apparently, in this week's numbers, the show's doing is better than ever. 9 seasons of a show. Trust me, folks, it doesn't always work out that way. Some shows usually decline. Most shows usually decline. But apparently it's going up and up and up, getting its best numbers. So kudos to the Crown Media folks and to Brian Bird and all of them. Also, we're trying to get guests on the show. We're working on it. I'm trying to get some guests who've never been on first. We're working on that behind the scenes. So just stay tuned for that. And like I said, when I do interviews, those are with Marissa Serafini. So we will have those coming. Just keep your eyes open. We're working with some great folks at Crown Media to make that happen. But I like the show. I'm watching it. I think it's great. It's fun watching it evolve and change. Like I said, again, I'm curious those folks who said they weren't going to watch it. Are they really watching it again? I mean, how can you not watch it? It's family friendly. It's like like a warm cup of cocoa. I mean, on a cold night. I mean, it's nothing. It's great. I don't know. So that's just me. That's just James's reaction to the show. I love you, Hearties. And I'm wearing this is Puerto Rico. I'm wearing a Puerto Rico shirt. One of was like, is that Texas? So I know it's Puerto Rico. It's half my family. But anyway, I love you guys, and I will talk to you at the next reaction show.